This episode of Bullet Heaven was made possible by DEV.TEAM. Indie games seeing released to the Digisphere is one thing, but to have new games for aged consoles such as the Dreamcast, another thing altogether. There are precious few developers out there still making physical games for long-defunct systems, and DEV.TEAM is one of the best.
Making games for the Neo Geo since 2006, most, if not all, of DEV.TEAM's games have also seen their way to the Sega Dreamcast with very positive reception. Fast Striker made its way to the Sega Dreamcast as Fast Striker version 1.5 in late December 2010, shortly after its Neo Geo release. If you're looking for a slick game, Fast Striker is a pretty good choice. But how good? Let's take a closer look.
Fast Striker sure is an interesting game when it comes to its setup. Unlike other shooting games that have a variety of ships and game modes which can be mixed and matched, each mode of play not only has drastically different mechanics, but also different ship behavior specific to the mode being played.
When it comes to core gameplay, your ship has solid 8-way movement which slows with rapid concentrated fire, 2 forward firing modes, and backward firing shots deal with enemy opposition. You also have access to a dual-purpose shield called the Strike Barrier, which can be used for protection or to deal massive damage to your foes. In most modes, this protective barrier will also guard against an errant shot or enemy collision at the cost of your whole shield stock.
There are 3 modes of play in Fast Striker. In Novice mode, the gameplay is super streamlined and simplified for new players to the game. Enemies will drop stars which are collected for points, and blue robots will drop extra shields in addition to the stars if they are shot enough. The stars dropped will drift to the player's ship while no shots or semi-rapid shots are being fired, which makes for an easier game. Your ship also has a wider shot pattern which helps in hitting more enemies on the screen at a time.
Original mode is the one to play for shooting game players that are more used to bullet hell gameplay. In this mode, small nuggets are dropped for scoring and crystals are awarded for hitting large enemies with concentrated fire. While the main shot has a nice spread to it, the concentrated fire is very linear with powerful missiles to dish the damage. Shields are dropped much more often since their use is, by design, required to get through the game easier and to score higher.
Finally, Maniac mode drives the bullet count up and switches things into a high gear with more linear fire and a concentrated beam attack. Instead of nuggets adding to the score, they charge a gauge at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen that awards another shield when filled. In addition, a gauge in the top left indicates when your laser is kicked into overdrive, allowing for a ton of damage. Again, the shields in this mode are crucial to your success and will help in getting further with the limited credits at your disposal.
If this is all somehow too easy for you, there is also an Omake mode, which limits your shield to just 2 per life and totally floods the screen with a ton of enemy fire. This mode is designed for Fast Striker veterans only.
In all 3 modes, there is also an active rank to the gameplay that rises and falls according to how well you perform. At its highest, you will see a skull and crossbones displayed indicating that the rank is at max. There is also all kinds of small secrets throughout the game as well.
There are a couple of problems though. There are a couple of glitches here and there that will present themselves but will not affect the gameplay in any significant way. Most notably, there is a gauge in the bottom left in Novice mode that serves no purpose other than to get you wondering how the heck to fill it. Otherwise, Fast Striker is excellent at a technical level, so while the gameplay in Fast Striker is super fun and pretty great overall, how about the scoring?
Each mode of Fast Striker has its own little scoring hooks that make it different from the others. Novice mode's scoring multiplier is based on how many stars you collect throughout the stage. The higher the star count, the higher the end stage payout. Bonuses and base score is also boosted with these collected stars, which are maintained even after losing a life.
In original mode, the score boosts are obtained in much the same way that they are in Novice, but with the added crystal bonuses for shooting larger enemies with concentrated missile fire.
It's a bit different in Maniac mode though, since there is a hit chain that needs to be maintained for the highest possible point payout. A gauge in the top left-hand corner will indicate when the chain will be broken. When the chain is broken, the counter will sharply decrease until the multiplier chain is re-established, and can be recovered with another swift enemy kill. Green crystal bonuses can also be obtained while your weapons are in overdrive.
All the while in every mode, there will be secret points that can be discovered by destroying certain enemies in certain ways, and the NGDev mascot will appear when these points are triggered. While this is happening, all bonus pickups will turn into little cat-like effigies that will sharply boost your score for as long as the secret point is active. There are also a ton of additional secret score triggers throughout the game.
At stage end, there is an array of bonuses that take stuff like item collections, shield stock, no miss, and the elusive tech bonuses that can be obtained into account.
The scoring in Fast Striker as a whole is more than simple enough for anybody to be able to grasp and play competitively, no matter the mode. As with other DEV.TEAM games, an online leaderboard can be accessed with a password on the NGDev site.
Easily, the presentation in Fast Striker is an instant winner with some awesome graphical tricks and some great visual and sound design choices. Basically, if you want a Dreamcast game that looks and sounds equally brilliant, Fast Striker will handily scratch that itch.
The backgrounds in Fast Striker are visually stunning with some seriously awesome 2D pre-rendered battlescapes that make for some great eye candy overload. Like many of DEV.TEAM's other works, this great animation also extends to the enemies and hulking end-stage bosses as well.
The stage, ship, and enemy designs are also very well put together, which basically makes Fast Striker one of the best 2D shooting games on the Dreamcast, period.
The only thing holding the visuals back is the 240p resolution, which becomes very evident on an HD TV, especially in S-Video or above, but any CRT TV makes Fast Striker look unbelievable.
On the other hand, one undeniably amazing aspect of Fast Striker is its incredible Eurotrance OST and awesome sound design. The soundtrack is made up of nothing but amazing tunage throughout and sets the stage for every level perfectly.
Breaking chain. Breaking chain.
The sound effects are punchy and work 100% of the time as well. Great stuff.
Fast Striker comes together to form a really sweet shooting game package that any Dreamcast player should have in their collection. But how does it stack up? Let's take a look.
Fast Striker is hyper-responsive and easy to learn.
Controlling your ship is a breeze, and bullets are easy to navigate.
Excellent variable difficulties are sure to keep players of any level engaged.
There's really a game mode here for everyone.
There's a lot of solid gameplay in Fast Striker with its 6 stages and 4 game modes.
Getting the 1cc in every mode will take a while to complete. The online ranking also boosts replay.
Fast Striker looks simply astounding on a CRT, but LCD HD monitors will make Fast Striker look a bit chunky.
The awesome animation of everything on screen makes the chunk factor more or less a non-issue. Fast Striker also has amazing design overall.
Fast Striker's Eurotrance vibe is perfectly composed and undeniably awesome.
The sound effects are also a great fit, making Fast Striker really easy on the ears.
With its pantheon of game modes, each with unique mechanics, score hooks, and fire patterns, Fast Striker is fresh all the way through.
While some may see this as bothersome, we felt it was quite refreshing.
Fast Striker 1.5 is one game that no Dreamcast owner should really be without. It's completely worth it to not only track down a copy through any channel you can, but also to buy a Dreamcast to do it if you haven't got one already. It's really that good. Fast Striker version 1.5 gets a 4.5 out of 5. Fast Striker 1.5 is becoming a very hard game to find in non-auction sales channels. Shops such as Video Games New York still have copies for round about $55. And online auctions range between $60 and $130 depending on condition and limited edition status. If possible, try to support NG Dev Team before resorting to a crazy expensive auction.